Your daily routine is not failing because you lack discipline. It's failing because it's built on fantasy. You wake up with good intentions. You plan the perfect day, morning routine, work blocks, evening reflection, and within hours, it collapses. Not because you're lazy, but because your routine was never designed to survive reality. Centuries ago, the samurai rejected routines that looked perfect. They followed routines that could not be broken. Not optimized, not motivating, unbreakable. Miyamoto Musashi believed most routines fail for one reason. They demand the right mood. And moods are unreliable. Musashi built routines that worked when he was tired, when he was unmotivated, when conditions were bad. That is why his discipline never collapsed. This is Stillness in Direction. This channel is about ancient systems that outperform modern productivity. No motivation, no hacks, only routines that survive pressure. If you've tried dozens of routines that never last, subscribe. And if you're ready to stop redesigning your life every Monday, like the video now. Now listen carefully. The samurai did not ask, what is the best routine? They asked, what routine can I execute even on my worst day? That single question changes everything. Modern routines depend on energy. Samurai routines depended on structure. Musashi knew discipline does not come from willpower. It comes from removing choice. If you must decide when to start, you will eventually decide not to. So Musashi removed decision-making from his day. The routine started automatically. No debate, no planning, no waiting. And because it did not require motivation, it lasted. In the next section, you'll see why most daily routines collapse within weeks, how choice quietly destroys consistency, and the samurai rule that made discipline inevitable instead of difficult. Most routines fail at the same point, the moment choice appears. You wake up and ask yourself, should I start now or later? That question is the beginning of collapse. The samurai never allowed this moment to exist. Musashi structured his day so the next action was predetermined. No options, no alternatives, no internal debate. When one task ended, the next began automatically. This removed friction. Modern people believe flexibility creates freedom. Musashi believed flexibility creates hesitation. Hesitation drains discipline. A routine that asks you to decide repeatedly will eventually exhaust you. So the samurai used anchors, fixed start times, fixed sequences, fixed triggers, not flexible blocks, not mood-based scheduling. Action followed action. Wake, move, train, eat, work, always in the same order. Not because variety was bad, but because consistency removed resistance. When Akio, a young student, tried to customize his routine daily, Musashi stopped him. You are negotiating with yourself, he said, and negotiation always ends in delay. The routine must be boring. Boredom means no excitement. No excitement means no emotional dependence. The less interesting the routine feels, the more reliable it becomes. This is why samurai routines looked dull from the outside, but they never broke. In the next section, you'll learn why routines fail when they are too ambitious, how the samurai kept routines painfully small, and why starting tiny made discipline unstoppable. The samurai distrusted ambition. Not because ambition was wrong, but because ambition makes routines fragile. Most people design routines for their best day. High energy, clear mind, plenty of time. Musashi designed routines for his worst day. Cold, fatigued, distracted, unmotivated. That difference decides everything. Samurai routines were painfully small. One physical practice, one mental practice, one responsibility. Nothing more. Akio wanted to add more training, more reading, more productivity, but Musashi refused. A routine that cannot be completed, he said, will eventually be abandoned. Completion mattered more than intensity, because completion builds identity. Every finished routine sends one message to the nervous system: I am someone who follows through. That belief compounds faster than motivation ever could. The samurai used a rule that feels insulting to modern minds. Never expand a routine until it becomes boring. Boredom meant it no longer required effort, no willpower, no emotional push. Only then was expansion allowed. This is why samurai discipline looked slow at first and unstoppable later. Most people reverse the order. They start big, fail, restart smaller, fail again. Musashi started small, succeeded, and never stopped. Akio learned something crucial. Discipline does not grow from pressure, it grows from reliability. Small routines remove excuses. They leave nowhere to hide. In the next section, you'll learn how the samurai used repetition to lock routines into the nervous system, why missing a day was more dangerous than failing a task, and how rhythm, not intensity, made routines permanent. The samurai believed routine is not a schedule, it is a rhythm, and rhythm is what makes action automatic. Musashi did not rely on reminders, planners, or motivation. He relied on repetition at the same time, in the same order, every day. This trained the nervous system. When an action repeats in a fixed sequence, the body begins to move before the mind argues. That is the goal. Most people misgaze and think the damage is small. The samurai believed missing a day was dangerous, not because of lost progress, but because it breaks rhythm. One broken beat turns routine back into choice, and choice reintroduces negotiation. Musashi followed a strict rule: never miss twice. Failing once was human. Failing twice was identity. If a routine was missed, the next day became non-negotiable. No compensation, no extra effort, just return to rhythm. This kept discipline clean. No guilt, no emotional debt, just continuity. Akio learned that consistency was not about perfection, it was about immediacy of return. The samurai did not punish failure, they punished delay. Delay is where routines die. By returning immediately, the routine stayed alive. Over time, something powerful happened. The routine stopped feeling like discipline. It felt like gravity. You didn't need to think about it. You just moved. This is why samurai routines lasted for decades. They were not powered by motivation. They were powered by rhythm. In the next section, you'll learn how Musashi protected routines from chaos, why routines must survive bad days to be real, and how removing emotion made discipline permanent. Musashi assumed chaos. He planned for it. Most routines fail the moment life interferes. Bad sleep, unexpected work, emotional stress. And suddenly, the routine feels impossible. The samurai never allowed routines to depend on ideal conditions. Musashi built routines that could survive damage. When time was short, the routine was shortened. When energy was low, intensity dropped, but the sequence remained. This rule mattered more than anything else. Never skip, only scale. Akio once tried to cancel his routine after a long, exhausting day. Musashi stopped him. If your routine disappears on bad days, he said, it does not belong to you. So Akio was taught to reduce the routine to its smallest form. One movement, one breath, one action. That was enough. Because the purpose of a routine is not performance, it is continuity. The samurai believed a routine exists to protect identity. If you act like a disciplined person even on bad days, discipline becomes who you are. Emotion no longer decides behavior. This is why Masashi removed emotion from routine design. No reward, no punishment, no self-talk, just execution. Akio noticed something surprising. Bad days stopped destroying momentum. They became neutral because the routine survived them. This is where modern routines fail. They are all or nothing. The samurai chose something always, and something always wins. In the final section, you'll see how all of these principles combine into one unbreakable daily routine, why most people never reach this level of consistency, and how to build a routine that finally works without forcing yourself. The samurai did not build routines to improve their lives. They built routines to remove decision-making. That is why their discipline never collapsed. Musashi's method is simple but unforgiving. Fix the order. Make it small. Repeat it daily. Never miss twice. Scale. Don't skip. When these rules are followed, the routine stops being something you try to maintain. It becomes something that carries you. This is the truth most people never accept. Willpower fades, motivation lies, and motion changes daily. Structure does not. A routine that depends on feeling good will fail. A routine that depends on sequence will survive. If you want a routine that finally works, stop designing your best day. Design your worst. Then repeat it until it becomes boring, automatic, and unquestioned. That is when discipline is real. This is stillness and direction. Not productivity tricks, not morning hype. A way of living where action does not wait for permission. And when permission is no longer required, consistency becomes inevitable.